I told you last week the business world is on endless transformation, and I'm telling you again, tech innovations are here to make our lives better every day. The Fundis app is one such tool that concentrates all your technician services in one platform at the access of your fingertips. Let's hear about it from the founder of the app, Mr. Alex Mwangi. Briefly tell us about that, and welcome to Property Focus first of all.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So
Excellent.
pretty much Fundis is a platform that is both mobile and web-based that enables homeowners and workplaces to find competent, vetted and reliable repairs, installation and maintenance specialists.
Excellent, brilliant. So tell us, what made you, or what gap did you identify in the market that you created this application?
Basically, if you looked at economies like ours, you realize that the informal sector, by and large, is the one that creates most of these jobs. And anytime you're thinking about looking for a repairs or installations or maintenance technician, it's very hard for you to find one. So the biggest problem is always, number one, where are you going to find a person? And secondly, how do you know if this person is competent? Yeah.
So how does the application work? Break down the steps. Briefly tell us about this.
So basically, it's a one-stop center where you can be able to get any one of these services. And it's simply you create an account using your phone number and your name, and you can be able to indicate where you are and exactly what you're looking for, and within a matter of seconds, you'll be sorted out.
Speaking of what you're looking for, what are the products and services accessible on the application?
By nature, right now, we are largely an artisanal service area. So that covers all the sorts of repair, installation, maintenance that you can think about at home and at the workplace. Yes.
Okay. So the technicians that are registered with this application, are they registered with the NCA?
It's a mixed bag of options how we go about it. Some could be, some may not be. And this is simply because we have a few other metrics that we consider just to be able to ensure that our users, have the safety and peace of mind that we want to provide to them. Yes.
Do you only do repairs, or can one also access construction services with the application?
If you think about the construction space, it encompasses all these what we are calling IRM, and IRM is simply installation, repairs, maintenance. If you think about most of these services, they are largely construction based. So you would be thinking about these in all the phases that a construction project would go through, from conception all the way to delivery, and that's what we simply call installation, repairs and maintenance.
Is it limited geographically, or anybody at any point or any place in the country can access this service?
So the last 2 years we have been largely concentrated in Nairobi for the simple reason the problem we are trying to solve is a little bit more felt in these cities. But our goal is that if you think about every other urban center that you can think about, they are growing around the same, the same way Nairobi is growing. So we have already done our early tests in Machakos and Nakuru, and the idea is that by the end of 2020 we'll be in around 5 cities within the Kenyan space.
So what's the future for the application?
First of all, we're at a point where we think the problem that we are solving is not a problem that is uniquely Nairobian. If you look at every other single city you can think around the sub-Saharan Africa, we are solving pretty much an African problem. We are simply asking ourselves, where do we think the next scope of jobs is going to come from? And we think, looking at the informal sector and how it has played out in the last decade, we think predominantly, 4 out of every 5 jobs that will be created in the next 10 years, they're going to be coming from this same sector.
Absolutely.
And the trend is that we are seeing that growing. We are seeing construction projects coming. Even if you think around, things like the affordable housing agenda that we are seeing in a country like ours. So we think in the next 5 or so years, we target to be in at least 5 African cities.
And you're already in 3 African countries.
We are not really in 3, but we have already done 2 pilot tests in Rwanda and in Tanzania. But we think by around April later in the year, we should be doing our early tests. In fact, we are just doing our first rollout in Dar es Salaam in the month of February. So we think in the next 5 years, we should comfortably be in over 5 African cities.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Appreciate.
Glad you came onto the show and just enlightened our viewers on just what they can do with an application. Thank you. Pleasure. And there you have it from Alex Kamanga on the Fundis app. Go get it. We've come to the end of today's show, but undoubtedly better informed on what's happening in the property world. Let's continue with the conversation on social media until our next episode, next week, same time. Property Focus is your window into the world of architecture, building construction, and real estate. I'm your host, Peter Ngigi.